Good evening, all. My name is Mishana Mohammed, and with me is Sam Joseph.
Hello, Mishana, and good evening, everyone.
And we are your hosts for the day. So, welcome to the very first episode of Date with an Entrepreneur, brought to you by IEDC Christ College of Engineering, Irnalakoda. Christ College of Engineering, established in 2015, is a new entrant in the field of professional educational providers. The college is managed by the CMI congregation of Devmata Province, Thrissur, and is a part of the Christ Educational and Charitable Trust, Irinalakoda. I extend heartfelt welcome and gratitude to our Executive Director, Father John Palyakara, our Joint Director, Father Joy, and the Captain of our ship, Principal Dr. Sajeev John, sir. I also extend warm welcome to all the Kerala Startup Mission officials present here, and special appreciation and gratitude to the Nodal Officer of our IEDC cell, Rahul Manohar sir. I also extend warm welcome to the CEO of our IEDC of Christ College, Mohammad Ashik. The Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell (IEDC) aims to inculcate and strengthen entrepreneurial quality and motivation necessary to develop knowledge and skills among members of IEDC. We aim to impart basis managerial knowledge and understanding which helps students to formulate the effective, innovative, and profitable project. Date with an Entrepreneur, brought to you by IEDC Christ College of Engineering, is providing you with this platform thrice each month, where each time you meet a successful entrepreneur and you get to know his or her roller coaster ride of successes and failures.
Once again, welcome to the first very episode of Date with an Entrepreneur. We're extremely glad and proud to have two young entrepreneurs for our first very episode. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome those two young, enthusiastic, determined entrepreneurs, Sujay Sreedhar sir and Nikhitha C ma'am. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Sujay Sreedhar is a founder and the chairman of SSERD. Ms. Nikhitha C, she is a co-founder and the space entrepreneur at SSERD. SSERD, Society for Space Education, Research and Development, it's a community committed to elevate and foster the education of space and research universally. So now, we'll come to know more about SSERD, its journey, about startups, etc. from Sujay sir and Nikhitha ma'am. So let's begin.
So, ma'am, my first question is, what is the motive behind SSCRD, or what exactly does SSCRD do?
Um, Hi everyone, thank you so much for having us on this platform. Uh, you were all talking about the goal of your this particular initiative, and I'm so happy for what you're doing. And again, thank you for having us. Being said that,
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
okay, so yeah, we started a study with an intention to promote space education. Mishana, is that only me who's hearing the background noise of someone, or
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, we are on it. One second.
cool? Great. I think it is from someone. Yeah. So yeah, we started with an intention to promote space education, as in, like, probably you'll have a lot of questions related to this, but it's like, while I was in college, and I had my friends, my juniors, and my seniors who were all doing aerospace without knowing what exactly they're going to study, or without knowing what they're going to do after they finish their studies. To just give you an example, most of them thought that they would study about stars and planets by taking up aerospace engineering, while it was not. At the same time, there were a few of them who joined with an intention that they would become pilots after 4 years of engineering. So we just found that people didn't know what exactly that they're going to study while they pick up any particular subject. So this made me and Sujay got into very serious thought of we should help them. When we thought of whom should we help, it's not that the students who have already planned and who are already studying we can try to help much more. One thing is we can motivate them to tell what to do, but we thought the right people whom we have to kind of tell what exactly it is was the very young people who will be dreaming of anything. So that's basically like school students, right? That's when we think of like, okay, I want to grow up to this, I want to grow up to this, my dream is this. So we thought if there's someone of that age who is looking at space as something big in their life, we thought we should help them, and that's where SSERD started.
Wow, that was really inspiring, and I'm pretty sure that SSERD is a great platform for all the students who are very aspiring and needs a guidance.
Okay, so we would like to hear something about the foundation. Was actually how the first day when you met, how Sujay sir and Nikhitha ma'am, the combination began. So can you just briefly explain how this partnership came into place? Like, were you have been friends, or when did you come to know that you both possess the same taste or the same love for space? Can I have the whole story?
Do you want me to answer? Do you want Sujay to answer? Probably he might have a different story.
Yeah, both of them.
Have a different story. Yeah, for me, it's like, so basically I was in my second year of engineering, and I was just looking at different space related programs, and suddenly I saw a poster on Facebook telling, okay, there's some conference happening about space, and that it was in Bangalore. I mean, it's funny thing that I would like to always share that I never traveled outside Bangalore. So if there is anything in Bangalore, I would be happy because my parents would allow me to go. So when I saw this poster, which was like, okay, it's happening in Bangalore, and I was like, okay, I should go. And then, but the best part was, what I did is I looked into the poster and I thought I should be there. At the same time, I'm a person who like take one more extra thought of how to get associated with anyone or with any organization. So what I did was I called up the volunteers, the organizers number, which was there on the poster. And what I did was I said, see, I'm Nikhitha and I'm in Bangalore. If you need any help, let me know. I did that, and I got a response from the organizers telling, yes, we are in need of volunteers because you see Sujay was from Kerala, the other team members from North India. Literally, there were like very less people in Bangalore who were organizers. So I joined as one, like it was like 2 months before I went in as an organizing team member. And that's when I met Sujay, because Sujay was one of the leading, as I say, like there were two people, one was Sujay. That's when I met him. From then we, like the way he used to work, the way he thinks, everything, I mean, like it was just like what I used to think, or probably both of them had same interest. That's when the discussion went on, and finally, after 3 months, I think we decided, okay, we need to have SSERD or something like that. Yeah, probably Sujay can tell his story though.
Sujay sir, do you have something to add to this?
Okay, my story is, anyways, thank you for having me, first of all. It's a great platform. I'm sure that there will be a lot of students who will be dreaming of entrepreneurs becoming one in the future, and they'll be listening to us and probably, make up their mind, okay, I want to do this. So thank you for having us, first of all. And so when I tell about the story, I guess we have almost the same story, except that I started off a couple of years before this SSERD whole thing started. I was into the space related things. I was working on a project, okay, and I had a lot of team members with me who was, they were basically engineering students, doing masters or doing bachelors, And one thing I figured out was they lack a lot of technical knowledge. They just know what you learn in the college. So I had this thing in my mind, okay, telling, okay, I needed to do something so that these people will get elevated so that they can work on my project. So that was my whole idea behind what I was doing back then. Then that is when we met up with a couple of people who was in various parts around the world, various places around the world, and we finally organized one conference in Bangalore. We did a lot of other activities though, but this was one of the events which we did was in a grander scale. We had people around like around 200 odd people who attended the conference back then. So that is when all these things, we and Nikhitha was talking, like we were the, as organizers, we had to spend a lot of time. So that is when we started talking about it, and then realized, okay, she had the same problem, telling, okay, they were not getting the right platform to do their whatever work they had to do. Internships, they were not getting an internship in Astro or nowhere. Like they basically didn't have contact. So that is when, okay, we thought, okay, let us do something, because it was need of the hour, and there was no such organization back then, not now, back then, who were there to help the students. So that's when, okay, let's do this. Let's give it a try. That is when. And one more interesting thing I think Nikhitha missed out was when we started off, it was not students, like young students, which we which we targeted. It was always the college students. Working with them, then we realized, okay, this was not the place where we should catch hold of them. It's somewhere in the younger stage where we should catch hold of them and change their minds. So that is when we started targeting the younger audience. Yeah, I guess let's call what you said is like that's
Wonderful, sir, wonderful.
So hence a golden alliance was formed, I would say. So, ma'am, you mentioned that, if a session was in Bangalore, your parents would let you go. So you would obviously go for it. So, when beginning a startup that is bigger, so there'll be a lot of no's from the parents. So it is a very great and hectic job to convince them. So how did both of you do it? We'll start with Nikhitha, ma'am, and then I would like to hear what Sujay said.
Of course, it was a very big no from my parents as well, because so my family doesn't belong to any kind of business related. I mean, like my parents, my grandparents, everyone are like workers. Like, I mean, they used to go work and come back. There's no one from, there's no family background of having entrepreneurial life. At the same time, my parents also wanted me to go and work somewhere, and I did get really good opportunities, but then I kept on telling no. Of course, there was a time when my parents used to hate me for all those things that I did. Then there was, and every time we used to do a program, yes, they used to support for just our happiness, but at the same time, if someone else, like some relative, comes and says, okay, what's your daughter doing, they were like, no, she doesn't do anything, she doesn't earn. So that was something bad for them to say, and that's when they used to get angry on us, and at least on me. And but then the best part was when we were doing all this work, a lot of people wrote about us on newspapers and things like that. So when these things came out, and that those details or those information reached our family with, like, through relatives or through friends of our parents, and they started telling, oh, your daughter is doing something. What is she doing something? Then that's when they read about it, and that's when they understood, and that's when they kind of started supporting us. But one thing I'd like to say that right now they like really help us in everything, each and everything, even though now that we don't kind of make money at all, but yes, they do kind of support us to an extent that if we share something on Facebook, they are the only people who give a like and share.
That's true.
And yeah, they've been supporting us really well now. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're very proud of you now.
they
So,
are.
yes, your experiences.
Okay, so mine is a bit different. I'm not going to say that it is entirely different, but it's a bit different. I've been an outlaw from the day when I left the college. Okay, I've been working on various things. I've been a web developer like when I was in my +1 and +2 days. So I've been doing all these small things where I get my pocket money somewhere here and there. So I've been after college. I've been an outlaw. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna work under someone or anything because that was not a thing for me. I mean, I hope you understand what I meant by
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
So the thing is, I like, okay, I don't feel comfortable working for them. And then there were certain times when they were like, okay, when things doesn't work out. I mean, it's not always success, right? When we do something, it fails. Sometimes it becomes successful. Now there were certain times when the things were so low. Like there were times when my parents are like, okay, now you need to find a job. You need to go somewhere. Then there was a time when I was like, okay, I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, fine, I'm done with you all, and I left to Bangalore to work over there. I just called up my friend telling, okay, I have so much of problems at my home. They are not letting me do what I want, and they're pressuring me to get a work and get me some job. So my friend was working there, and she called me, okay, fine, then let me arrange a interview for you. Then I went there, I attended the interview, and I got that job, and I was working there, but I still had this thing, okay, I wanted to do something. Then it was like, okay, I was doing some adjustment business work. I was working there and trying to work out something here and get things running. That is when I ended up in some space related projects, and things started moving on. Then I quit there, and I started this for the full time. Then that didn't work out that great, and again, I was in the same position as before. There were a lot of questions. Why are you not going for job? Why is it not working out? All your friends are placed. You didn't do this. You didn't. That was there. Then again, I found another job for a couple of, I think it was almost a year or so. I worked somewhere else again. Then I left that job to go to Delhi to work on a startup. I was a CTO there. So things went like that. So once they started realizing, okay, this is something which I want to do, then they were like, okay, fine, let him do whatever he wants. I mean, I didn't had this kind of problem what Nikhitha had, because I still remember those days when I used to go to her house when her mom used to say, Sujay, please tell her to go for a job. I was like, okay, fine, I'll give her an advice. Then we're like, okay, fine. Then it moved on, and once everything, SSERD was again a part-time thing when back then when I was working there, and later on we realized, okay, there is a potential here and we should utilize it, and giving part-time is not something which is going to work out. That is when I left Delhi and came back here. We doing it for the full time, and then I mean, then when the things started to work out, right, that is when people will I mean, for my family side, I mean, my dad and my mom and my brothers were always supportive. Like there were certain times, as I said, apart from that, always been supportive. Now also they are supportive for everything, whatever I do. I'll say, okay, I want to do this. Okay, fine, you're okay with it. You're okay with it. So that is what the mentality of my parents. There are things which our relatives will say. I mean, for me, I usually ignore. I don't care. Okay, I don't usually care anything about whatever others say about me. So I'm a person like that. I think that is one of the things everyone should have. Like, you don't need to trust your relatives. They don't know you better than you do yourself.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of points for others to note from what you said. Like, we should be following our own passion and stop listening to what others' opinions like something. Okay. So we said about convincing our parents. So because it's something every one of us faces issue, and one of the biggest issue actually convincing the parents. So when we said about convincing, I heard about your SSERD is doing a lot of activities like workshops, internships, seminars, etc. Right? So it's a big thing. So how do you finance for all these? Because coming to startups, financial support or finance is a big concern for everyone, right? So how did you manage with the finance for SSERD?
Okay, so first thing you should understand is SSERD is an NGO. Okay, so we most of the programs what we do is in the starting. Okay, let me start from the starting. We put a lot of money from our pocket. Okay, and we do a lot of programs here now and then for the private school, for the college students. We do charge them a certain amount. It's not that we do it for free. We do our programs for free. We've been working with government schools. We've been working with the orphanages. We've been working with various organizations to give free programs. But there is a certain programs which we charge, right? We do charge some amount. So that is where most of our finance comes. We haven't taken as far as I remember, we haven't taken any of donations apart from a couple of maybe 10s or 20,000 rupees which we got on the first year. Apart from that, I don't remember taking any of the sponsorships or anything like that. Apart from that, all been fueled by whatever the financial this what can you say? Yes, I lost the words. I'm so sorry. So whatever money we are getting out of the program is what we are using it. That's what we've been doing, and that is what we are doing right now. And right now we have set up a small private company where we are trying to move certain things like providing program for the private schools and all those things into a private entity. Okay, so it's a private company which we have registered a couple of months back. We had a very big vision for 2020, and everything is gone now. But on a other note, we have set up a private company which we are trying to move certain amount, and rest all the charitable activities, all the free programs which we do for the government schools, which we do for the and other NGOs, we are going to keep it here at SSERD. So that is something like the funding is mainly coming from the programs. It's more or less like a Robin Hood story kind of, you can say, where you take it from a private school, give it to the public. I mean, the government schools.
Government schools.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So just mentioned, that give and take policy, right? So for this, you need to have a network. So how important is it to have this network for someone who is starting up? And when you wanted to start up, did you have such right resource persons along with you to support you?
Okay, as I said, when we started SSERD, I was in this particular space, like the space industry. I've been there from a while, like a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 years or 3 years or so. I was there. And that is when I started SSERD. I had a right set of contacts which could help me. And apart from that, as we went along, we interacted with a lot of people. Actually, Nikhitha is the right person to tell you about the network because she's the one who maintains all that things. She is the one who usually talks to all these organizers, all the NGOs, all the small organizations around India and around the world, and get things done. So we had a certain amount of network when we started off, but as we progressed, we expanded our network again. That's actually obvious, but yeah, that's how it happened. Nikhitha, you want to add any other points?
Yes, ma'am. Can you add to it?
Yeah. So for us, as Sujay said in the very beginning, it's all the network of Sujay, personal networks of Sujay, and with that, well, we started doing something. It's like our friends, our relatives, and our volunteering team, which was one of the key factor for the for SSERD to be successful till date, because if you go check out our website, you will see many things happening, like at least 10 things that's happening simultaneously, which is just because of volunteers. We just have like five of us, 5 or 6 of us who work like full time, and then the rest of them are all volunteers. It's been from the beginning. So it's through volunteers and everyone, like we started talking and someone used to like it, and then they used to contact us, or we used to go and contact. Things kept on going. We used to attend a lot of programs around, and in fact, that's how things. One major kind of turn back for us was after a year. We were like, again, there was another conference happening in Bangalore. It was one of the international conference. I used the same trick again, called up the organizers and said, you know what, I'm Nikhitha, I'm from Bangalore, I can help you organizing. They were like, oh yeah, we want it, because the organizers were from Dubai, the organizers from Sri Lanka, Japan. I was like, okay, then they were from different places, but they were organizing in Bangalore. So again, I took up a role, but now at this point of time, it was just 7 days before even I saw the poster, and I took up the major role, and I kind of did A to Z, I can say, starting from booking the cabs to the guests who were coming from airport to the hotel, booking the cabs from hotel to the conference room, booking the bouquets, the presentations, the splitting the certificate, getting the prizes, memento, literally what not, everything in just 7 days. And I mean, I was so happy that on the last day they were giving out the books of the whole program, and I was just moving the papers like that, and then suddenly I saw my name in the organizing team list. Like, so that's when I was like, oh, that's nice. And at the same time, they asked me if I want something out of this platform, and I don't know, I didn't feel hesitated. I just went with one request telling, you know what, just give me 5 minutes. This program was for 2 days. And I said, just give me 5 minutes, even during lunch break, just before lunch break or after lunch break, wherein I talk about my organization. And they were like, that's it. Come on, go, take. And I was like, okay. There were like 100+ people who came from 17 different countries. I think that was the point where we were kind of exposed to international contacts and international people. That's when we started moving out to different countries. We started getting different people from different, I mean, that's how the contacts kept on. Every time you meet one person, they put us in touch with someone. Every time you meet, I mean, it's like a branching, what do you call that, the chain reaction, that it just happens, and it gets, but the whole point is maintaining every contact in a really good health. So yeah.
So that 5 minutes was like very valuable. And the thing is, when you get such an opportunity, grab it. You would never know what
you will never know until you just openly ask what maximum they would say. No, you can't talk. I mean, fine, it's okay. I came here to just help and learn and meet people. That I got it. But I just took one more step of, I mean, I don't know if I should say that I was selfish. But yes, I just asked, can I talk about my organization? Because it was space conference and I have a space related organization. They were pretty happy. They were like very happy to include this whole program, which happens for 2 days, is planned 1 year before. Okay. And the last moment they just said, okay, take 5 minutes. And you just know what is the value that we bring in. And yeah, that's how the things happen.
Grab the opportunities.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. I just
was about to add on to that.
So while you spoke, I remember something like somewhere I have read, the company you keep with decides your future. I have read this somewhere. So that's what reminds me when you talk about networking. And let me tell you something, both Sujay sir and Nikhitha ma'am, the way you speak, it's so energetic. You even gives us some energy to listen. And Nikhitha ma'am, you're so loving in speaking, you really enjoyed it.
Your smile alone is energizing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Both of you are pet lovers, right? I have stalked both of your Instagram feeds a bit. So I've seen these adorable pictures of both of you with your dogs. Ma'am, Ronald Raja, am I right? And Sir Haley, right?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
as you all know, dog Laika was the first animal to go to space. So on your first trip to space, would you take Raja and Sir Haley with you?
It's like, see, my grandparents always loved pets, and we always had one or the other pets, starting from rabbits to squirrels to chickens to tortoise and fishes to lovebirds and everything. Like we sometimes there was a point of time we also had snake, and then we gave it back. So we always loved pets. My grandfather loved pet, and and there is every time there is one dog with us all the time. So and then they have a family. So Ronald is just one guy out of that, and right now, like few days back, we had total of 4, and one we kind of give it to Sujay's place. In fact, the name that comes for Hallie is from the Big Bang Theory. So both there are twins, Hallie and Missy. These two names are taken from the Big Bang Theory because we both love space again, and that was one of the favorite show of ours. So
That's cool.
So your
And
family's
Sujay,
pet collection, it's a very good collection actually. Taken from tortoise, snake, etc. Okay. So can I just
Sujay
make a
sir, what
small
about you?
change in that question? Uh, Nikhitha ma'am, if you're getting a chance to go to space, okay, and it's given an opportunity for you to select just one companion with you. So whom will you take, your pet or you'll take Sujay sir? And I want the
sure.
reason. Okay, I want the reason.
He knows
Okay, actually, that is a good question.
knows what I'm going to take. Of course,
I need an answer for that too.
Yeah, specific reply.
of course, I'm going to take my pet. Yes.
Why?
Sujay
So
sir, what
why?
do you have
Can we
to
know why?
say for that?
I don't know. I just love them because, like, be it whatever the bad day I had, they kind of make me forget that. At least the bigger one, the Buffy, the mother, there was a point when I used to cry. She used to come and wipe my tears. So that's why I love them so much. Uh, Coming to Sujay, if there's my bad day going, I share with him. He's like, okay, he says, okay, that was your mistake. So he kind of adds a lot of things on my head. He doesn't help me to get out of that moment sometimes. He says, probably that was your mistake, or you shouldn't have done that. But otherwise, I really need someone to listen to me. So, yeah, my dogs.
Sujay
So
sir,
Jason,
we are
I
looking
hope
for
you
your
are hearing,
reply for that.
and I hope Jason is hearing this, right?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Okay, I'll get back to you with the answer for that after this.
So,
Just
sir,
kidding.
who would you take?
Mm, okay, man, that's a strange question. Now, if I say her name, then she'll be like, okay, I don't want to go with you, right? So I don't know. Actually, see, there was a funny thing. We always had this idea. Okay, we should have a. When there was Missy and Hallie was born. We were like, okay, we should send one of them into space. We actually had that discussion, like at that point of time, telling, okay, we should have a space dog, and we should send either of these people into space. So I guess if I get a chance like that, I would take Hallie or Missy. I mean, both of them are same for me, so I'll take either of them.
That's sweet.
Okay, so let's become serious now.
Yeah.
So coming to startups, we said about financing, about convincing parents. So there's something else during this journey of startups. Okay, I think failures, it's not something to be hidden, right? We all will have failures. So can you just share some of the some failures that you have reached in your path, and how did you tackle them?
Okay, so who wanna go first? Like, you wanna
Yeah,
ask
okay,
Nikhil?
we'll begin with Sujay sir.
Okay, so when we talk about failures, I mean, there is nothing wrong in failing things. I told you before, when we started off, there was a lot of times I tried so many things and screwed up like spectacularly. Okay, there were spectacular failures. Okay, there were so many things I failed. I mean, it's okay. It is okay to fail. It's just that, just you need to learn from that mistake.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
and move on and learn something from that mistake. I think that is the most important point. The thing is, if you make mistake once, it's okay. Okay, and I tell this to my team also whenever we have something which is happening. We usually tell this thing. If you fail once, it's totally fine. You didn't know it. But if you fails on the same thing again, that is your mistake.
Yeah, guys, I think you have to note this. Okay, so failures,
Take a
it's a part
mental
of
note,
our
everyone.
journey, and we should never give up. Actually, we should learn
Yeah.
from failures and should come right.
Yes. So again, coming back to failures, there is no one who don't have failures. You will
Yeah,
see Elon Musk, you will see Jeff Bezos, you will see Jack Ma, or whomever you see. You will only see the successful side of them. You
exactly.
don't typically see the failed side of them, right? I mean, you would probably read it in their biographies, or you would read it somewhere. But whoever you see there, it would not probably be directed towards that failure. but that was actually the point where their life changed and they came back to the place where they are actually right now. So failures are a part of life, and it's extremely important to have failures. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys are college students, and I think it is okay to fail at this point of time rather than you fail on a point of time where I am right now. Okay, I mean, it's okay to fail at my point of time as well, but it is easier for you to fail and learn rather than you grow up a couple of years after that you fail. You'll have a lot of burden, unwanted burden, you can say. And I think it's okay. Take a chill pill and move on. Learn from that mistake. That's
Yeah,
important.
well said, sir. Well said.
And ma'am, your take on failures?
I haven't personally faced a failure in the entrepreneurial journey. I don't know if I should thank God, or I don't know if it's with the help and the blessings of everyone. But I do say this to everyone again, just like Sujay said, if you fail, it's absolutely fine. And also, it's that only if you fail you come up very well. If you're I've heard that from a lot of my mentors, where if you're not failing, then you should think about it. If you fail only, then you will actually think of something good and big. And so it's absolutely fine. If you fail, you will find out a way to come up with a good way.
So, ma'am, you have started a branch in the Philippines and you were invited to teach students in Sri Lanka and Mauritius. You're also guiding 20 African youngsters in STEM education and outreach. So, how much significance do you think is given to STEM education in these countries as well as our country, especially our country?
A very good question. Let's talk about our country first and then talk about these countries. If I have to talk about the STEM or anything like that, it was very few years back that we all were introduced to computer subject called computer, if you all know, wherein until we finished 10th we just used to learn, okay, this is the parts of the computer, this is how we do MS Word, this is how we use Excel sheet, this is how we send an email. Apart from that, I don't think so we learned anything while we were in school, at least for me. I don't know if it's the same thing with you, but if you look at the schools now, they have programming in the school level. And very happy to say that yesterday, with the announcement of Education Ministry, that they announced that there's a lot of skill-oriented education that they're going to make it possible throughout India. So for sure, we're going to see much more things and students getting more skill-oriented, more talented to come upon in the future. That's one thing that we need to look at in India. Coming to other countries, at least for the countries that I have been to, I have to talk about space because I only went there for space thing. I can't say what exactly is STEM. So when I went to Mauritius, it's a very small island where their focus is on so many different things. Space is something that anyone would look at when everything is fine with their country, right? And Mauritius is now looking at having this computer or AI based and things like that. So space is something literally very new for the whole country. We at least have Isro, which is like almost 50-year-old, 55-year-old. But if you go to those countries, there is no such national or a government space bodies, right? At the same time, there's no much importance given to space in the books, rather than just like how we all study, which is the first satellite, who is the first person. These are the things, in fact, your parents and our parents would have learned in this. There's no much difference. And it's the same thing that they are learning, but then there's no much scope that they see. So again, I went there to talk about it, to kind of tell what is the importance of space technology. Same thing with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, it's a little different. Sri Lanka is very good in astronomy, but not space. Again, Sri Lanka doesn't have their own space agency. They are not at all interested in it. And in fact, there was one small team which worked on their first ever Sri Lankan satellite. So they are in a very early stage, like very early stage. For us, this was 50 years back. So all these countries are going to keep progressing in the coming days. I think it's the same thing with Philippines. Philippines also recently formed their Philippine Space Agency, like just a year back. And again, there it's no much importance given, but then right now it's like doing very well over there. And SSERD was formed 3 years back, like before the space agency was formed, even in Philippines. So we are very happy with it. Their team over there, so I mean, like we like them so much because we don't have to tell them what they need to do. They do it everything by themselves, and then they ask us if they have any doubts, like, okay, we have planned this, is this okay? That is only when they come and ask us. Otherwise, they do it so well. And Sujay has personally been to Philippines, so he can share his experience of being there and what are their thoughts. But as far as I have heard from Sujay, that they work very well, and he used to say, they did like this, we should do like this here in India. So that's how good the team is over there. And yeah, that's what we have learned. And in the future, we're looking at exploring Nepal and helping them at the same time. So when I was in Mauritius, I had like 22 youngsters from whole African region who wanted to concentrate on this space and the science outreach. So we were like explaining or discussing how to go ahead, because that was not part of their interest. Now they want to. So out of those whole 22 people, there was one girl who came back to me after a year, 1.5 years in fact. She was from Uganda, who said, Nikhitha, I know we had these discussions and everything. Now I want to go ahead and start off my own, outreach group over there. So we kind of helped them, and it's going on. Similarly, just a month back, there was a contact that we got from Ghana, who's again looking at starting off space education over there. So similarly with UAE, if you know that they recently launched their Hope mission. A year ago, they launched their first astronaut. Again, there it has become very rigorous thing that they thought that they have to do, and they're doing it. So again, we kind of got few requests from Dubai, but unfortunately we couldn't do it. But then yeah, so our major focus is on those countries which never focused on this, and we are planning to help them to start off, at least, like just to start off. That's been the idea behind that. Yeah.
So from your words, it's clear that our country is a bit more ahead than these countries.
A lot more ahead. Like if you consider space in the whole world, there are few countries who have been very great, like Russia, America, China, and then there are a few European countries. So if you compare with them, I think, as far as I know, I have learned India stands on the 4th row. So yes, we've done really great things. We should be happy for it, proud for it. Yeah.
Proud to be an Indian.
We are very proud. So, even with all this priority, how much of this priority do you think is given to STEM education for women in our country?
See, this is something that has become very spicy news nowadays. Because people think that there were no women doing before, or I think it's not that. There were always women who were doing, but the number of women were less. At the same time, the number of women who went up to the last stage was less. But whoever are left out, they are the pioneers. Like they are the best people, right? So that's why we have them as role models. And if you look at male part of such things, There are many, like you get a huge list because there are many people, and then they continue to do it until the end. So many pioneers. But if you come to women, there are very few who go up to that stage, and that's why everyone is now talking about, okay, women in STEM, women in STEM, women in STEM, because we want more and more people just like more and more men. But women is always and was always and will be always in STEM. Just that we need more people, and again, more people to stay until the end. Until the end.
I really appreciate your.
One more point, I'm sorry.
For us.
One more point, I'm sorry. It's not just STEM, I think, it's everything. Like recently, we saw a poster of a program that's happening about law, and there are 6 speakers. All the 6 speakers are men. And what should, like for example, take a girl who wants to pursue law and who sees this poster and thinks, okay, there's only men. What should come to her mind? I mean, this is something it's a very strong discussion, or a kind of what do you say, debate that can go with the men who don't understand or who don't believe in talking about women in STEM or women. They might not agree with it, but I mean, I'm telling you in a very general way. For a girl who wants to become the lawyer, who sees this poster and you're like, okay, there's only men, which means there are no women. But if you look at it in a proper way, there are so many women who have done that, right? It's all about how we show, how we kind of bring out the examples and role models to the people. That's when we'll have more people to come and do it. Sure. I don't know if Sujay wants to add on this. This is my view on all these things. Yeah.
I really appreciate your eagerness for talking like this, man. It's really great. Okay, I think Sujay sir, SSERD is providing internships for students, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
yes.
What kind of internships? I mean, what's the work an intern should do at SSERD, right?
Okay, so we have different types of internship to start off. There are operations where they do things in the day-to-day activity, maintaining our social media, maintaining our blogs, reports, and all those different things. Okay. And there are certain, I mean, we've done something we started recently was research-based internship. Actually, we've been doing it from a while, but we started concentrating it on a bit more level recently. So we have our second batch for a month-long internship, which is running now, where they are learning how to do research. I told you before when we started, there was a gap on what you don't learn in the college. So that is something which we are trying to solve and bridge the gap. So we have that particular program, which was 1 month or 4 weeks before. Now we just extended it to 6 weeks because because the time was not enough. So we just extended it. But most of the work, what they do is purely research based. How do you do research and basically the things you don't learn at college. I think that is a different types what we do at internship.
Oh, great. So, what kind of qualities you're looking for an intern to be at SSERD?
Okay, again, that comes to boil down to what position you're applying. Okay, if you're applying for the research-based internship, we usually give out an interview. We send an interview question. It will be basically a problem-solving skill. See, the thing is, usually when you go for internship, some other place, let's say some other organization, what they do is they will make you sit and teach you things. Isn't that what happens?
Yeah, usually? Yeah.
So we don't follow that at all. Personally, I don't like to teach someone something. They have to learn by themselves. Okay, so that is the whole idea. What we will help them is how do we learn it. We are not going to teach them how to learn. I mean, what to learn.
What to do, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And we will just tell them, okay, this is how you should learn. This is the way you should approach on learning. Yeah. So in that particular case, we have a small interview where we understand what is their level of understanding and how good are they at solving problems, how good are they at working with teams, and that is pretty much the main quality what we look for in an intern. Apart from that, we have our content development, we have our social media operations, where they have, based on their roles, we have different criteria. in general, this is the criteria what we look for in an intern.
Yeah.
Working with a team is the most important. I just want to stress out on that. That is the most important thing which what we look at. Yeah.
So, sir, what are the scopes for BTech students in this field or in your startup as well?
So we take a lot of, I mean, if you're asking for the internship, most of them are from bachelors or they're doing their masters. So there is a lot of opportunities over there. And most of our team members are from, all the volunteers are from bachelor's background, okay, who has specific knowledge and they like specific topics. So based on that is what we select the people. And what most of our teams are basically multitaskers. If you are talking about the people who works with us directly, they are mostly multitaskers who can handle multiple things. Like each of our team members literally takes care of at least 2 to 3 different things at a given point of time. So that is something what we look at in a person. Yeah.
So thank you, sir, for that.
Okay.
Pretty sure everyone will be interested to know that too. So, sir, your capture of the Neo Vice was a media hit. It is a comet that will be next appearing after 6,800 years.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of other scenic pictures in your feed too. So, is photography your passion, or is it contained to the stars, comets, in the sky?
Okay, I know you guys have went through our social media very thoroughly. Photography. Okay, so photography. I mean, it was something which I did long back when I had a point and shoot camera. I used to, whenever I go out, I usually take some photos. I mean, it usually turns out to be good photos. But after a long time, like I started when it was basically because of this lockdown. Otherwise, I would have never ventured into it. That is when I started taking the photos of stars. I mean, basically the galaxies and the Neo-Vice thing. It turns out just because of this corona reason. I don't particularly spend a lot of time nowadays to take photographs. No, that is good.
Yeah. So have this corona, a pandemic or lockdown days, have that affected your SSERD working or something?
Of course, that is beyond what we could expected. Something like this which happened. No one was prepared for it, and something what I believe is something an entrepreneur should have like a capacity to adapt. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to adapt, then basically you're done, right? So we also did our part and we adapted to online classes, even though we've been talking about online classes from a very, very long time. We've been discussing it from past 2 years or so. Telling, okay, we need to do online classes. But if there was no starting, there was no push to start because there was no benefit for that. Now, that is one of the major things. Because of this corona, we shifted all our things online. So that has opened a lot of opportunities. And it turned out to be okay, but we had a very huge plan for 2020. We had associated with a lot of schools. We were expecting to work with around 40 schools to provide space-related curriculum, and everything went on because of Corona. But we moved on to the next thing that is there available.
Yeah, great, sir. And guys, there's a point in that to keep in mind, because what he said, the ability to adapt, it's something we all should keep in mind, because things can change anytime, so we should be able to adapt to the situation. Okay, so guys, keep that in mind. Okay, so another question is, recently I saw a post about Tesla saying that they are opening, or they are looking for new freshers or new people for job. And Elon Musk is a crazy guy actually, but he commented on that, saying that he is now looking for people who have completed their degree, or he said it's not compulsory for people to complete their degree. So what's your opinion on what he said?
Okay, so if you ask me personally, I totally agree with him. Okay.
Okay, that's what I like.
I don't know if this is something which I want to tell in a college forum, but sometimes the degrees are useless if you are not using it properly. Okay.
Yeah, so you think
I personally, I don't have any problem if I have to hire someone who don't have a degree. I don't have any problem, as long as, provided, I told you 2 things, as long as they have the skills and they can work with my team, I'm open to it. Yeah. I don't look at their degrees, I don't look at their resumes whenever I hire someone. Mostly, I mean, we just look through the resume. We don't spend a lot of time on that. It's just for the namesake. We collect the resume sometimes. Mostly, it has to do with the person who's sitting in front of us. So I'll just take a quick example. We have a person called Kedar, okay, who is working in our team. He go by KK. We all call him KK. So he studied something, and what he's doing with us is entirely different thing. Okay, and it's not because of his resume we selected, or because of his degree what we selected him for the skills and the ability to work. That is why we selected him. So for me personally, at least, degrees doesn't matter really. Nikhitha,
Okay,
you want to
Sujay.
add anything?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's the same thing because you come to an extent where you know that whatever marks that you got is no more coming to your help. Like, to be very frank, I scored 94% in my engineering, and what am I doing with those marks? Literally nothing. Uh, Same thing with my 10th grade, same thing with my 12th grade. We just went on looking for marks, scores, certificates. Literally, I mean, for sure, what you learned should be helpful and not something. So of course, we at SSERD decided from the very beginning that no, we're not going to look out for the marks, but we would look out for the skills that a person would carry with. Each and every one in our team is just because of the skills that they have and not at all because of the marks. Because we know that a person who's good in technical, logically, or good in skills is there is no way that they could get like really good marks, because their interest is not getting in marks, but their interest is in learning something. So yeah, that's how.
Yeah, I
It's
really
very
agree with what you said.
something very happy to hear about. So,
I just wanted to add one more point. Doesn't
yes,
mean that you should not get it. I'm so sorry. I'll just interrupt
yes.
you. Doesn't mean that you should not get a degree or anything. Okay. I didn't mean that, but
No,
we
knowledge
don't
is
look at it. And the thing is, what you learn at college and you use your brain are entirely different story. That is what I meant by it. I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, sir. So, my question is to both of you. First, Nikhitha ma'am can answer, and then sir can answer. What is your most favorite part of being an entrepreneur?
For me, it's been I mean, like, for me, as I said, I actually don't know what is entrepreneurship or what is entrepreneur itself. But yes, I was a leader. I was a leader from school. So I used to head the whole class. And then when I went to my high school, I had the whole, like, we used to have colors, right? T-shirt colors. So four
Yes, yes.
different colors. So at that point of time, I used to head one of the team with almost 300 people in it. And when I went to my 10th grade, I became the school head girl, where I had like around 1,000 students. So I was aware of how to handle things and how to take care of people, how to speak to people, how to get the things done, and how should I do or how should I be. So I was a little bit aware, and it's the same thing. Sujay, you probably need to mute yourself. There's a lot of background noise from your end. Thank you so much. Yeah. So again, when I went to my 11th and 12th and my college days, if there is anything that comes up in the college, I was always eagerly waiting to go and grab that opportunity to take a leading position. I'm that kind of person. Like, even now, if there is anything that's happening, I go and look out for a position wherein I can go and handle something major things, right? So I am someone like that. So that helped me a lot to become probably, I don't want to say I'm a proper or a good or the best entrepreneur, but yes, I think I've been doing great. I don't know, my team should say, Vijay should say, but I'm probably using my leadership skills to take care of SSERD as an entrepreneur. So yeah.
So your favorite part of being an entrepreneur? Sujay sir?
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people from Nikhitha here, so you will know what is her favorite product.
Okay, sir. I think we'll have one final last question, and I want you both to answer this from your own experience. Okay, it's a simple question. I know it's a cliche question, but define success and define happiness. A short answer, please, from your experience. Hello, sir. Sujay, sir.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry I couldn't answer the previous question. There was siren which is going on at 8 o'clock, so I didn't want to. So, okay, so for me, success is when I change a life. Okay, that is something we see a lot. And there are a lot of students who comes with a one mindset, and when they go out, they will be, they'll have. If we are able to touch one person's life, that I think that is the point where I calculate success is, and yeah, and that is where my happiness is too.
Yeah, and Nikhitha ma'am, a very short answer for the same question. Success and happiness from your experience.
For me, success is like when people are happy, like when people are happy with what I do, and happy is again when I don't know what is happy for me. Okay, I might need to think. We can go ahead, but yeah, success is nothing where people around me are happy with whatever I have done. So yeah.
Okay. I think that's very great lessons to take away from today's session. So, and everyone, that was Nikhitha C and Sujay Sreedhar, the co-founders of SSERD with us. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, for sharing your love for space with us, and giving us many life-saving lessons on entrepreneurship and life as well. Thank you so much. You guys were so energetic. You guys put us in a very comfortable space, and both of your smiles alone were, very comfortable and energizing. So thank you so much. And now we'll have the open session for all the participants to ask your doubts and questions to our guests. Those with questions, please highlight yourself in the chat box so I can call out your name and you can ask your questions directly.
Okay, Mishana, I think we'll begin from Rajit Chetty. Hello, sir. I think you can on your microphone, Rajit Chetty. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong.
Good evening, everyone. This is Rajit. I hope my voice is clear.
Yeah, yes, clear.
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity where I can speak with two giant entrepreneurs. Honestly, I've been trying to contact you guys since a long, very long, honestly. And the thing is, I will just give a 1 minute short intro about myself. Like as Nikhitha ma'am told at the beginning of the session, like you're not pursuing BTech in aeronautical or aerospace, people might be imagining like we will be studying about stars and galaxies, etc., and end up with something else when they join into the engineering and they end up with something else. Even I am one of the member of in that list. Even I had such kind of expectations, and currently I'm pursuing my BTech in aeronautical engineering from Mallaredi College of Engineering and Technology in Hyderabad. So my question is, like when SSERD was organized, when you guys started SSERD with some kind of collaborations, like were there any collaborations, and what kind of network helped you in establishing it? What motivated you? And finally, one last thing, like what was your route plan of it? Like how you're gonna take this SSERD? Like what kind of programs you hosted at the beginning, and how it went long? How many of them, how public came to know about it, public interest on your organization, etc.
Thank you so much for your question. Rajit, it's really nice that you asked because yeah, I would really be happy to answer because uh, the first thing was yes, as you know, we both were interested in doing something like this. We just came up with a name calling. In fact, we had two options. One is Society for Space Education, or Community for Space Education, and all that. So we had these two options, and we took like almost 6 months to finalize on just a society. That's one thing. And we started off our work with going and talking to students and doing small programs and workshops and things like that. After a year, literally after 1 year, while we had one of the huge program, it's called as Astro Space Camp, where we had students from all over India who came and participated. These are the students who can't afford to go to NASA by paying like in lakhs. This program was just designed for them who really can't afford to go, but get similar experience or better experience of going to NASA, right? So what happened was one of the parent just called us during that event, and they were like, you know what, you've been doing so great, the way you all are organizing it, the way you all bringing people, the way you teach, the way you coordinate, like you send a message in the morning telling tomorrow is this session, and you send a message telling after the whole thing is over, okay, today these things were taught and tomorrow is this and you need to come at this time. We literally used to coordinate emails, message. We used to do it very well. And then this parent asked me, okay, tell us what is that you want to do with this. I was like, we just want to continue whatever we're doing with our team and everything. And then he was like, you should probably explore, either registering as a company or an NGO. We were like, what is that? What is company and what is NGO? That's when we kind of got this eye open towards it, and he explained this completely. I mean, we should be so thankful for him today. He explained us what is company and what is NGO, and then we decided upon at that point of time I was still a student and Sujay was working somewhere. We were like, okay, no, let's continue what we were doing for the sake of giving people, and we decided upon getting registered as an NGO, which again took almost 8 months. I think almost 8 months to get it registered. It was not that easy. I mean, the reasons are so stupid. We went to a registration office. They said, you have space in your name and you need to get a letter from ISRO. You need to go get a letter from those people, these people. And then we went and asked ISRO that someone is asking for a letter because we have to get it registered, an NGO with a space name in it. ISRO was like, no, there is nothing like that. You can go ahead and register. And then we make them tell this to the registration person on the phone. He says, okay, sir, we will get it done. He keeps the phone, he's like, get lost. No, I'm not gonna get it done. So we roamed throughout Bangalore. We couldn't get it done. And I'm so happy to share this that we went to Kerala to explore if we could try it out over there, because Sujay comes from Kerala. We kind of looked into opportunities over there, and yes, within a day, I think he was able to find someone who agreed on getting us the same organization on the same name in Kerala. We got it done, and today SSERD is a registered NGO from Thrissur. But yes, we are operating in Bangalore. But yeah, this is how it started, and we kept on going. Once it was registered, it was all fine. We kept on doing programs in a even more professional way. And
Okay, ma'am.
I just wanted
Thank
to
you,
add
ma'am, for that.
I'll just add one more point over there.
Yes, sir.
So it's not your first idea is not the idea which you're gonna end up. That is one thing you should remember. We started off with something and we are here with something else. So it always, you understand what your market is, understand whom you're serving for, and understand what do they need. You don't start with an idea, you start with a problem, right? And I think that is one of the things what I think that is something which I should add on to when we talk about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. And
Thank you.
I have
Thank
one
you.
last question, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The thing is, I just have one question. Like, how can we be a part of SSERD? How can I be a part of SSERD? Like, since I was in 8th standard, when I was in 8th standard, at that time I came to know about that there is something beyond this blue sky. I came to know about space that time, and till then I started to like researching, knowing things so and all. So like my with a dream to become an astronomer, I've like it was just like in my college there was like nothing with these kind of facilities. We were just focused on software and MNC companies, placements and all. Nothing related to our background, aeronautical engineering. So SSERD, I honestly I came to know about SSERD in the month of May, and since then I've been following SSERD, all kind of activities, programs, and all. So I'm very much fascinated to be a part of this organization, to work with you guys, with your community, to learn and explore, so that like it's a belief for me, like here where I can pursue my real goals. And in the last, I want to say a big thank you for SSCID, because I am a part of asteroid hunt, which is going on right now in SSCID, and I got selected, and I'm very much thankful for this, even the hosts and the guests for giving me this opportunity. And this one last question, like how can I be a part of this SSCID? Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
so much. It feels really good to listen from what you said. You want all what you need to do is just go sit down on SSRD website, go through each and every page. You will find out details on what is that we all are doing and how you could be part of it. If you really want to know more how you want to be part of internal team, what you could do is you can reach out to us. Just drop a message on any of our social media, or I think you already have our contact. For example, you can contact the asteroid hunt coordinator. He will he will put you in touch with me. We could talk and we could explore. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. A
Thank you,
small
ma'am,
reminder
for
to
the very elaborate answers. Yes, sir.
a small reminder to everyone. Can you all please, as we are running out of time, I humbly request you all to keep your questions short and sweet. Also the answers. Okay. Next.
Okay. So next, Uma Madhuri, ma'am, you can ask your question.
Yeah, hello, good evening to everybody. There was really a spectacular session, and the fun part is I was just browsing about the ISU in LinkedIn today. I just got to know Nikhitha is the alumni for that. I just went to the profile and I just saw this post stating that we have this webinar, and I just registered by 3 p.m. today, and I'm here. This is my like this made my day. And my question for you is like, I just started up my startup related to IoT a month ago with my friend. I have been this co-founder with my friend. Together, we started up a startup a month ago. Being this quarantine, we are doing it everything online. I wanted to open up and tell you we just went through an idea of starting up, but other friends of mine think like sharing an idea will make them steal the idea. Like with sharing an idea with my friend, I got to start this startup. Like, how did this happen between you? Like, sharing an idea is a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah.
It's a good thing, Uma. Just that you need to make sure with whom you're sharing, because people around us are not everyone good. Okay, I want to tell you this openly to everyone. People around us are not at all good. So you need to be very careful with whom you're sharing what information. And if you trust them, have it shared. In fact, we went wrong sometimes in sharing with the person whom we trust also. But that's a different story. It all depends on you, how you want to, whom you want to share, and how you want to get it done. Just instead of simply thinking forever, start doing the work, you'll find the result.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ma, for your question. And
Yeah.
once again, I'm reminding all of you, please make sure your mics are turned off so we can avoid this clash. And next, Sarat Prakash. Hello, Sarat Prakash. Yeah, Sarath Prakash, thank you for sharing your experience in your entrepreneurial journey. So Sarath's question is, what's your view about Sarath Prakash? I think you can turn on your microphone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. So
Okay, sir. Actually, I'm Sharath, working in IST. Thank you for sharing your experience with this entrepreneur journey. So my question is like, since you people are working in space research enhancement, you already will be knowing about the startups in space industry, especially in India, like Bellatrix, Agnikul, and all. So what's your view about them, and what will be their challenges in near future?
Sujay, do you want to answer?
See, they are in a stage where they are being promoted by the government. I don't see that there will be a lot of troubles for them in the future. But the thing is, the market outside India is very much evolved. Okay? It's a point where there are private companies which launch small satellites. So in that perspective, there will be some challenges where they can get the contract, where they can get their products out as soon as possible. As at this particular moment, we don't have a loss pertaining to whatever they are doing at this, at least for the Agnikul and Skyroot, all those people, if we consider, we don't have really the loss regarding their launch and services. So that is going to be a challenge until that problem is solved. Um, they will be limited to the ground. But yeah, I think that is the only thing is we are in the startup business. We are a bit late to that game. But yeah, hopefully they can catch up with all these other companies. I think that is what I would be willing to say in the public world. I guess
okay,
that's
thank you.
what I can say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sharath. And next question, Akshaya C. You can ask your question now.
Hello, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, yes, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. I would just like to ask the question, saying that how could you overcome the financial problems which you face once you start your startups personally and professionally?
Okay, I think I had spoke about this in the starting. We pretty much financed all the programs from our money and small events what we did. And actually, in the case of Nikhitha, she used to take tuitions. So whatever money what she used to get, she used to pour in for the resources of SSERD. So that is pretty much how we started off, and that was our, you can call it like a seed money kind of, that was the starting what we did. And apart from that, once we are stabilized with our so one thing is we are kind of self-sustaining. Okay, in the point where we are self-sustaining. So once you reach that point, then I don't see the biggest challenges. But until that time, we were putting our own money, or whatever savings we had, whatever whatever side work, like what you can say is freelancing work, what we used to do. That is how we financed it.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Sujay,
Sujay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank
question.
you. Thank you.
And
Thank
guys, a small reminder for everyone: our feedback form link has been given in the chat box, so kindly go to that. And we'll go for the next question. Can we have Daniel here?
Daniel Pierce.
Yeah, thank you. Can you suggest one book that you would recommend people?
Okay, so if you like science fiction, I think there's a book called Foundations. Okay, it is by Isaac Asimov. It's actually a really interesting book if you like science fiction. At least we are from space and science. We love science fiction, and I think that is one of the interesting books you can probably read.
Nikhitha ma'am, on suggestion from you as well.
A very bad person to ask from. I'm a person who just read the textbooks. You ask me which textbook is good, I can tell you, but not something to read. So I'm sorry, I don't have any suggestions. I'm not a person who reads books, but yes, I want to read books. I'm not sure when would that happen. Sorry for it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Daniel. Next, Mahesh Lade, you can ask your question. Mahesh, are you there?
Mahesh lead. Okay, I think, is there some other questions to be asked? Anyone else with a question?
Everyone, please note that the feedback form is given in the comment box.
Hi, sir. I'm audible.
Yes.
You can ask the
Sir,
question.
is it audible?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure.
yes.
Okay,
Very.
I'm Mohammed Ashik, CEO of IEDC actually. I was actually starting to make my own startup from my second year of BTech career. But actually, the problem was I didn't had enough team or enough volunteers. As you said, there are your SSERD is run by the mainly volunteers. How did you find the volunteers for it, and what was the initiative for finding such a inspiring guys as a volunteers?
Thank you for that question, Mohammed. It's like we started our very few programs with volunteers, and the thing is, when we have volunteers, we actually don't consider them as volunteers. We just consider them as our team members. Like we literally become family members, like really become close friends, and they don't want to go away. Even sometimes there is a point when they actually bring their friends, and their friends also look at the pictures and experience and the fun that we have, and then we always have people to join us from different places. uh, to say it's like we have volunteers from all over India, right? If you have to do any program, anyone just takes it up and then they do it at their regions. So that's how it is. Even now, the thing is, we see the volunteers who join as volunteers getting transformed as another leader, and being with us. That's what the most happiest thing for us. And it's all about taking care of them, and not being okay. If someone joins, you don't need to treat them like, okay, they're here for some certificate or for some reason. No, they're giving their time for you. For that reason, you need to take care of them like very well, and that's what we have been doing. And they found it really good and happy. And till date, each one of us are like family members now. Like we gather sometimes, or we just talk on social media and things like
Okay, thank you. And I think we have Mahesh lead back online. Mahesh lead, if you can hear me. I know we are running out of the time, but just one last question. Mahesh lead, if you can hear me, please turn on your microphone. It looks like we have lost it. So I think we can wind up the session. So if you are, guys, if you are having any further queries or any further doubts regarding startups about SSERDs, please make sure you fill up the feedback link that is provided in the chat box. And also by the end of the at the end of the chat feedback form, you'll be having a session to mark your further queries or doubts regarding SSERD. So please make sure you do that. So it's almost time to wind up this wonderful episode. So I'm taking this opportunity to thank everyone responsible for the working of this episode. So first of all, a big thanks to Sujay sir and Nikhitha ma'am for your valuable time, for sparing this time for us, for interacting with us, for solving a lot of our queries about SSERD, about your startups, etc. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank both of you. Thank you so much. And next, I take this chance for thanking the IEDC members of Christ College of Engineering, especially the technical team behind this event, and also the officials of Christ College of Engineering. And finally, I thank all those who attended this section, to all the members of Kerala Startup Mission, with all the students out there from different colleges and other young minds from all walks of life. So thank you all for all your cooperation. I hope we could utilize this very well. And please make sure you fill in the feedback form, which is sent in your registered email IDs. And please check the same also. And your e-certificates will be provided in the same manner.
I call upon Rahul Manohar sir, our nodal officer, to present his vote of thanks.
Uh, all the guests and dignitaries here in our online platform. And first of all, let me thank Sujay and Nikhitha for coming over here and chatting with the young people who are love to be in the track of entrepreneurship. And we do have some of the members from Kerala Startup Mission. We do have Shrikuti ma'am and we do have Riya sir, who were the charge of IEDC, all the IEDC in Kerala. Then I would like to thank all the dignitaries of Thrice College of Engineering for giving me such an fabulous chance to develop such an idea and to pursue what I have wished for. So I would like to see all the good entrepreneurs coming over here and all the good people who are looking forward for having a chance for being an entrepreneur in the same platform, so that they can have a beautiful chat just like we do have today. And thank you, my dear Joseph, Sam and Nishana, for that wonderful, vibrant taking of the program. And again, I would like to thank Sujay Sreedhar and Nikhitha. Both of them are a good friend of mine. Thank you for coming over here and giving your valuable suggestions, your valuable advices to all the young minds right over here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And once again, thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much, sir. You guys were very energizing. And thank you so much for sparing your time with us. So everyone will be...
just a second, Nishana.
Yes,
thank you so much, the Christ College, to kind of invite us for this and giving us this opportunity to share. I mean, we are always on your side. Like, we bring in speakers and we ask them questions. But then sometimes when we get asked questions, we love to do this. Thank you so much. We loved it, and I hope it helps whoever joined on this call. And you both were amazing, and I think I should have you in our shows where we could probably host you. Amazing you both are. Thank you so much, Rahul. It's a good experience we had. Thank you so much, everyone, as well. I see a lot of people commenting that you loved it. Again, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just add on to one more point. Now you know how we get volunteers.
Yes, thank you.
So we treat them as a family, but yeah. Anyways, again, Rahul and everyone here, thank you so much for having us. It was a good platform, and I hope someone of you will turn up to become an entrepreneur in the future, where we can talk to you guys in the future. And thank you so much for having us here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for your kind words. So everyone, we'll be back next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. with another great entrepreneur, Suraj Chandran, founder of Karam, which was recently acquired by Oyster. Please refer to your email IDs and our IEDC CCE website for the updates.
So stay tuned for another such wonderful episode, the second episode of Date with an Entrepreneur. This is Joseph, Sam and Nishana signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.